You want to get a full rib expansion here, so you want to get those ribs up. So it will cause a nice plateau to the abdominals here. You want to press the back down. Inhale, exhale as you come up. Get all the air out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. And again, you can keep your hands down here. Exhale. You can actually feel the abdominals contract. Exhale. And then inhale. Exhale. Nice and tight. Now the key there is, again, keeping the knees down as you're coming up, and you want to press your lower back into the floor so you can really get a deep contraction of the rectus abdominis. When it's done correctly with the breathing, it's a great exercise. If you do about 3 to 20 reps of those, I mean, you'll definitely feel it. It'll give a nice definition to the abdominals without having to put strain on your lower back or your neck. And that is the ab frog sit-up. This next exercise for the abdominals, it's a concentric crunch. What you do is you bring your legs down, all the way down, bring your hands behind your head, and when you come up with your head, you never want to pull on your head. A lot of guys tend to pull on their head like this, and it causes cervical strain, so we don't want that. So the hands are just kind of a guide, just to support your head without putting any stress on it, on your neck. And so what you want to do is you want to lie down to start, and you're going to pull your knees in towards your chest. You're going to pull in, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You want to bring the elbows outside the knees and get as tight as possible, so you're really pulling in the knees all the way almost to your nose. You want to exhale and squeeze everything you got. Get all the air out. It's very important to get that diaphragm to work and in full capacity. So you want to exhale, squeeze, and then inhale, exhale. And then release. Now that one, you're going to use a little bit of hip flexor, but if you do it correctly, you can really emphasize the abdominals, because yes, the hip flexors are going to fire as I pull my knees in, but you can relax them, and as you come in, that's when you pull into your abdominals. So if it's done correctly, yes, initially you might get a little hip flexor movement, but ideally, in primary, you're going to get the abdominals to kick in, because you're going to just lift the hips up just a little tiny bit so you can get even a deeper contraction. So again, when I talk about all the exercises, I'm always talking about bringing the tendons as close to the middle as possible. So this will allow both tendons on both parts of the rectus abdominis to pull in. So when you come in, squeeze nice and tight, getting as much force and contraction, so you're bringing those tendons in close. That's the key to this exercise, and that's really the key to developing the abdominals. Is really trying to get the full spectrum of the lower and upper part of the abdominals to come in. A lot of times folks are just doing just the upper part, so they only initiate just the upper tendon area of the abdominals, so they don't really initiate anything lower. And so that's why when people talk about, you know, how do I work lower abs and upper abs, there's no such thing, because ideally, the muscle contracts as one unit. So there's not, you can't lift, I mean, you can't just do half bicep, you see. So what we want to try to do is get both parts to come in to contract. You want to get a full contraction of the abdominals. So by doing this exercise, it allows you to get just a little bit of a little lift, a little curl of the pelvis to come in small enough so you can initiate the tendons on both ends to meet in the middle, and then you release. And that's the key, and that is a concentric crunch. This next exercise I'd like to show you is the hip roll. The hip roll, what you want to do is you want to take your hands and just cradle them, cradle the sacrum, so you make a little diamond shape again. And what you want to do is just lie down on the ground, keep your head down, cross your legs, and then what you do is you come up. Now the key to this exercise is when you're lifting up, you want to keep the head down, and you want to really feel the abdominals do all the work. So you want to pull in with the abdominals as you come up. Get the air out. And also what I'm doing is when my hips are up, I'm pushing down on the ground so that I can get a little leverage to allow the abdominals to get a little bit more out of it in the contraction, and not to use the hip flexors. That's why you cross your legs. You don't want to just, do this exercise. That's not going to do anything for you. So what you would do is you exhale, and you're blowing the air out as you're contracting the abdominals. Now, when you do this right, you're not going to use the hip flexors at all. So this is a really good exercise. Really isolates the abdominals. It's a different exercise to do, so you don't always have to do the same old exercises for the abdominals. So this is a nice way to kind of break it up. And the hip roll is a very effective exercise and very safe. And again, it's going to really isolate those muscles down deep into the rectus abdominis. Now this is the hip roll. What you want to do is take your hands, I kind of cradle my sacrum. I cross my legs. Lose all my stuff here.